So today our objective is to recognize direct and inverse proportion from a table of values, alright? Just a quick one. So here's a table of values in which the variables are in direct proportion. As you can see, as the mile increases, the cost also increases, alright? So in this example, our constant number k is 6. It therefore means that if you multiply each of the miles by 6, you get the cost in each of them, alright? So it means that the cost equals 6 times distance in miles. So the formula connecting the variables is C equals 60. So here's another table of values in which the variables are in inverse proportion. As you can see, as the number of workers increases, the time spent to complete the job decreases. Okay, so in this example, our constant number K equals 80. Of course, as you know that in inverse proportion, we multiply the variables. So if you multiply the variables in each of them, 10 times 8, 20 times 4, 40 times 2, you get 80. So the formula connecting the variables in this case is WT equals 80. Example 1. We're given a table of values. X and Y are directly proportional as you can see, but we need to check if we have the same constant number in each column. And how do we check? All you need to do is to look at each of the column and see if you have the same constant number. For the first one, if you multiply x, which is 3 by 8, you get 24. You multiply 6 by 8, you get 48. You multiply 15 by 8, you get 120. You multiply 20 by 8, you get 160. Therefore, we can see that the variables x and y are directly proportional. So to find the constant number at any point in time for direct proportion, you need to divide. So you divide y by x in each of the column, and you must make sure that you have the constant number to be the same for each of them. As you can see, k equals 8 for each of them. And when you're done, you need to write the formula connecting the variables. Of course, you know that for direct proportion, y equals kx, okay, where k is the constant number, alright? So when you're done finding k, you substitute to find the formula connecting the variables. Example 2. P and Q are inversely proportional, as you can see, but we need to check if we have the same constant number in each column. And how do we check? We need to take the product of P and Q. So in the first one, you multiply 3 by 24, you have 72. You multiply 6 by 12, you have 72. You multiply 15 by 4.8, you have 72. You multiply 20 by 3.6, you have 72. So the variables P and Q are inversely proportional. As you can see that the constant number for each of them is the same. So when you're done, you also need to write a formula connecting P and Q. So the formula connecting P and Q is PQ equals 72. Alright? Example 3. It says find the missing value when Q is directly proportional to P. So we need to take a look at the values in the first column. We have 20, P to be 20, and Q to be 90. So because they're in direct proportion, we need to divide. So you divide 90 by 20, you have 4.5 to get the constant number. Then when you get the constant number, you need to write the formula connecting P and Q. And that is Q equals 4.5P. Okay? Now to find the missing value Q, we're given that P equals 50. So all you need to do is to substitute P equals 50 into the formula. Then you have 4.5 times 50, that is 225. Example 4. Find the missing value when Q is inversely proportional to P. Of course, you know that when two variables are inversely proportional, you need to take the product. PQ equals constant number. So when you multiply, you have 1,800. And the formula connecting P and Q is PQ equals 1,800. Now to find the missing value Q, given that P equals 50, so we need to make Q the subject of formula. So Q equals 1,800 divided by 50, and that will give us 36. Example 5. We are asked to say whether This table of values show direct proportion, inverse proportion, or neither of these. If the variables are directly or inversely proportional, work out the formula. Now from the first example, from the first table of values, you can see that when you divide each of them, you get a constant number 3, 12 divided by 4, 3, 15 divided by 5, 3, 60 divided by 23. But when you divide 25 divided by 10, you have 2.5. So it simply shows that this table is neither direct nor inverse proportion. Now let's look at the second table of values. We have PQ. You take the products, you have 40 in each case. PQ equals 40 in each case. And example 3, when you divide each of them, you have 6. 12 divided by 2, 6. 18 divided by 3, 6. 30 divided by 5, 6. 40 divided by 8, you have 6. So the table of values, the variables are in direct proportion, and you have D equals 6E as the formula connecting the variables. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening.